All right, and we are back with the finale of West Coast Weekend. It is a Pump It Up showcase by happyf33tz. I am super excited for this. This is gonna blow your minds, chat. But don't want to delay it any further, so I'm just gonna let happyf33tz do its thing.
All right, what's going on, everybody? First, before I start the run, I just wanted to give a big thank you to Games Done Quick for having me back on yet again. This is my third time on here, so several of you probably already recognize me. For those that don't, my real name's Seth. I go by happyf33tz, and I play Pump It Up. I started the genre back in 1998. I was 8 years old, and I've been playing Dance Dance Revolution, In the Groove, and I moved on to Pump It Up now. I started on this game back in, I want to say late 2015 is when I started to try getting into it more. And then I started playing it more competitively around summer of 2017. And then I started streaming and taking it very seriously and then growing the channel and growing an awesome community. And there's already see a bunch of them in there with the ft33tz L's and a bunch of other emotes. Appreciate you guys all being here. So without further ado, let's get started here. Let me just move my mic really quick. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to avoid all the K-pop stuff because of DMCA. All right, let's see. What's the first one we got here? All right, Mad Science S20. Just making sure you guys can hear me okay. Getting this set up is a little bit wonky. Just making sure it's loud and clear and the music is good to go too. Mods are on top of it right now. I assume they took care of some of the audio if there was any issues. Okay, Mad Science S20. So we're gonna start out with singles, which if you look in the bottom of the gameplay, it's a red circle, which means that you play on one side. Out of all the dance games, Pump It Up is one thing that makes it unique compared to Dance Dance Revolution or In the Groove or Step Maniacs. Double play is very popular and it's very common, which means one player is doing both sides at once. But just because I'm doing one side doesn't mean it's easy at all. This is pretty difficult. It's level 20. The highest for single play is 26 as of now, also known as like S26 or S whatever the level is. And then for doubles, the highest level as of now is 28, just for reference. So this chart has stuff that we call bracketing, which is when you hit multiple notes with 1 foot. You're gonna see quite a bit of that. Right off the bat, you've got 3 notes at once right there. And often people that are like spectating this game always ask like, how is that possible? How are you able to hit 3 or 4 notes at the same time? I mean, you're just simply using your heel and your toe to hit 2 notes, essentially. That's really all it is. But when you see it visually on like the game, it just really blows people's minds. So as far as like levels go for like this one here, being a level 20, it's not very stamina oriented. It's just mainly focusing on tech, which is why there's so many brackets and it's not such a fast BPM. Someone in my chat probably knows the BPM for this. I think it's like 130 or so it's a lot slower. Really cool trick here. You have to stay down on this yellow note, the center panel, while also hitting all the arrows during it. Another thing to point out for Pump It Up that makes it kind of stand out from the other dance games, during holds in the game, whenever you see those long notes, on all the other games, you would have to like accurately time them once they reach the top. But on this game, you just have to be there. So I can literally just stand there. And as long as the buttons are being like activated, then it's gonna count as perfects. The only exception to that is if there's some songs that have like a note that's hidden directly above it. But it's very selective on like which ones have that and which ones don't.
Next stage.
The next one we're gonna be doing is HTTP. Gonna give a shout out to Kiri. He's the musician behind this song.
Level 21.
So the first set we're gonna be playing level 20s and 19 through 21 basically. And then as we're gonna progress through the set, it's gonna be getting harder and harder. I see someone says that they played so much DDR, but this is just insane. Yeah, a lot of people, I don't know, usually when I come across people that like stumble across like my streams or just like, I don't know, find a video of me online, they always mention how they thought the game was like long gone. Like it's pretty much a memory for a lot of people. Like back in the day when you had like the rollout mat on the PlayStation 1 or 2 for Dance Dance Revolution specifically. But then like after it blew up in the States, it kind of, eventually it just died out, you know? But there is still a community around. They host tournaments, there's fan-made tournaments. It has been a while since Pump It Up has had an official tournament. I think the last one was actually, well, at least in the United States, it was 2018. So it has been quite a while. But for something like DDR, Konami actually, every year, they have a thing called oh man, I went blank. What is that called? Someone in the chat will remember. It's basically like the championship for any Vimani games. But usually those are hosted in every February. I don't know if they're actually going to have one this year though, because of COVID. All right, here comes the outro. This is another techie one. It's very tricky right here. Whew. Lots of 30-second bursts at the end. I think those bursts are, if that song's 150 BPM, I think it's like 300 BPM bursts, so very, very fast. KC, that's right. Konami Arcade Championship.
You're awesome.
Yeah, sorry about that. I went blank on it.
Next stage.
All right, next one we're gonna be doing is actually double, so I'm gonna be doing both sides simultaneously.
Level 21. Level 9 difficulty zone. Difficulty zone level 1. Level 21.
I think it's a 19, right? Yeah, here we go. So this one's actually pretty interesting. Not only am I gonna be doing both sides, but the cool thing about this chart in particular is that it has a thing that people call gimmicks, which is a visual effect of some sort. The last one had it, but this one is a lot more obvious. When it comes up, I promise it's not the stream crashing or anything. It's not skipping frames. It's actually what the chart is doing. So if you pay attention to the gameplay, you're going to see the arrows like actually like stuttering and skipping as they're coming up on certain areas. So it's simply there just to try to throw you off. And although this is a 19, a little bit of a lower end one, I love this one. It's really fun. Also, it's just a straight up cat jam. As far as anything about the chart goes, outside of the gimmick effects, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing that's really like unique about it. It's just really fun when you're playing it. But you can see like the movement between singles and doubles is a lot different. They both play very differently. In fact, there's a lot of players out there that are very strong at singles but have a very hard time with doubles, or even vice versa. All right. I think I got one more for this set. Yeah, I do. We're gonna do a double 20. So we're gonna go up one level for doubles as well. I think there's a lot of people asking how much the machine is in the chat from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, this cabinet in particular is 15 grand after tax and shipping. That's if you get it brand new. Nowadays you can find them used, but don't let the price intimidate you because there are definitely alternatives. There's a lot more affordable setups. The reason this one is a lot more expensive is because it's currently the newest version of like the cabinet. This model in particular is the LX cabinet. There's CX, TX, GX, there's a bunch of them. You want the song name for the last one? It was Loki. Just look up Loki, Pump It Up, Double X. So the reason this one's a level up compared to the last one is it's a little bit faster, and you're gonna notice that I'm moving a lot more from one side to the other compared to the last one. Something else that you really need to pay attention to like understand the difference in difficulty for like from one song to the other in this game is the movement, and also just mainly like my hips. If you watch my hips, you'll see me pivot from left to right, right to left. Those are called crossovers, twists, turns. There's different names for them, honestly. For Pump It Up, most people just call them twists. So like right now you can just, if you pay attention to like my movement, I'm not twisting right now, I'm facing forward for the most part. I'll try to call it out when I do twists. I'm not actually sure if this one has a lot of twists at the end of it. There's only like a couple here and there. Most of the part, like right here, I'm very minimal, barely moving. And then the ending gets really, really twisty actually, right here. So did you notice at the end how I was moving from like back and forth like this? Those are twist patterns. So the more of those that you see, the higher difficulty it's most likely gonna be. And that's our first triple S of the night. So the game has different judgments, similar to Dance Dance Revolution. Although for Dance Dance Revolution, a lot of people get the two games mixed, or honestly like any of the genre. Like there's 4 different games, like I said, that are like the main ones. A lot of people get them mixed up with each other because, I mean, you know, they look the same, they play the same, but it's hard to explain honestly on a stream. But the biggest difference for like DDR and Pump is Pump It Up has diagonal arrows and a center. So if you see the game with 5 buttons versus 4, then it's Pump It Up. Back to the judgment thing. Pump It Up is a very... I'm laughing because I know people in the community always meme on this game for having a very wide timing window. However, while it does have a very wide window to get perfects, which is the highest grade you can get or judgment you can get, don't let it fool you because this game makes you move a lot more than any Dance Dance Revolution chart out there. Not even a debate. The biggest thing though with DDR that makes it really challenging is the fact that the timing window is very, very strict. I don't know the exact number. I think DDR's Marvelous window is somewhere around 16 milliseconds. Pump It Up, I can't tell you what it is. Someone in the chat probably knows, but it is way, way wider. But that's the trade-off. Much more movement on this game with a looser timing window, a little bit less movement with some tech, with a much tighter window on DDR side. So thought I'd explain that because a lot of people mix up the games and wonder like what are the key differences. There's also a bunch of other stuff, but those are the main things. Okay, we're going back to singles. This is probably one of the most technical 22s per single in the game. Very awkward chart. Tons of weird patterns, weird rhythms. It has pretty much everything you can imagine in it. Like even this part here, it's just very awkward. If you let go of those holds, then it's gonna really drop your life bar very quickly. Speaking of which, back with the holds on this game, you'll notice the combo is counting up when I'm just standing still, and if I'm on a hold, it'll count. DDR does not do that. Lots of pauses right there. And right there, if you saw that, that is something rhythm gamers are very familiar with. When there's one note repeating, if you hit, say like you get a bad on this game, you're gonna have a lot of bads happening over and over again. It's known as a chain. Very annoying. So, yeah, if you're hitting one note multiple times and you get a non-perfect for this game, for example, so you can see right there, I got 23 bads in a row. That's a lot of bads. So if you actually hit the bad and you're doing the same note, it causes the chain, essentially, where you can't like undo it. You could be hitting it perfectly, but I don't know why it is. I don't know the explanation behind it, but it really screws up your score. Don't forget to hydrate. Yeah, you're right. I honestly, I completely forgot.
Level 22.
So this means that the chat has to stay hydrated too along with me, all right? Get your waters out. Am I using socks or running shoes? Majority of players use shoes, but for me, I use socks. Sometimes I use something that's, give me 1 second here. Okay, got that. Sometimes I'll use these sock shoe things that are called Skinners. They're pretty much socks with like grip, essentially. Just depends though, like, because sometimes when you're playing, the pad can be either like really sticky or really slippery. If the pad gets really slippery, then I'm gonna wear the Skinners because they got more grip, and I'll try to combat against that. It just depends though. Like every pad you go on is different. I mean, even for me, sometimes I'll wake up and come down and play. The pad will be sticky. The next day it'll be slippery. You know, it just depends. Okay, so while this is a 20, this is known. People in the community call this an old school type of step chart, and whenever you see Banya as the artist, you know that you're in deep trouble, because the charts, I don't know why, but the charts are kind of misrated sometimes. I think this one should be a 21. This is really, really hard. One thing to pay attention to is I don't think there's a single hold note. And the reason that adds difficulty is because hold notes will help increase your life bar when you're missing notes and you start struggling. So if your life bar goes down and you're trying to like build it back up, having hold notes helps because it counts up the combo, which brings your health up. So because there's none of that in there, it's really hard to stay alive for players that are around this level. On top of that, there's just a ton of movement. You're gonna see me going all over the place. So yeah, this is like way old school. So I'll show you why it's so difficult. I will start missing. I'm gonna miss some notes coming up, and then I want you guys to pay attention to the life bar up top. So I'll start missing notes right here. Okay, so notice how low the life bar is. Start missing a little bit more notes there. There we go. All right, we're pretty much empty. So watch how long it takes to get up to full, and watch the movement. We just hit halfway. All right, now we're full. So see how many notes it took to get it back up to full with all that movement? Very difficult. Oh, there's one. All right, I lied. I had one hold note. It was for such a short period of time, too. Barely enough to even get any life bar progress. So yeah, that is why old school charts are very scary. I mean, even, that was a level 20. Even if you go down to like, I want to say 15, level 15, 16s and 17s, 18s, everything like 5 levels down from that. Even then, the old school songs are really, really awkward. Very weird. The next one I have, this is gonna be the one before last single chart for the showcase. The next one after this will be the finale for singles. And then from there, we're gonna be doing doubles only. And it's gonna be getting harder and harder, like I said. Is it common to be at a level where you barely get through songs? I've only known failing hard and seen people with godlike talent. I never really got the life bar. Yeah, it's very common. For Pump It Up, the common skill for like people involved with the game that play like on the regular, a lot of people ask me this. It's really hard to pinpoint. I would say 15 to like 18s maybe 16 to 18 is the average like player that is involved with the game and plays consistently. Anything that's like 21 and up, maybe 22 and up, it's really debatable, is like high upper end, and then 24s and up is like the end game pretty much. Now, again, doesn't mean that anything below those numbers is easy, not by a long shot. Again, this is a level 22. This one in particular, you're gonna see a lot of movement. It's 170 BPM, so it's like medium speed, but there's a lot of twisting going on, like I mentioned before. If you pay attention, you're gonna be seeing me pivoting like back and forth with a lot of movement, even though I'm playing on one side. And there's a lot of brackets in this too. The first song I played had the brackets, but it was much slower. So you're basically taking that, probably speeding it up around 40 beats per minute faster. There's a twist. Lots of movement coming up right here. Nice little cool down right here. Another break. Notice all that movement. A lot of players struggle with that type of movement. Incredibly hard. The reason this isn't a higher level is because you can see there's a lot of parts with like resting points. got 1 grade on that. Very solid. Name of the song, it's called Hellfire, and it's by Memme. M-E-M-M-E.
Next stage.
Trying to remind myself to stay hydrated. I have a very bad habit of not drinking water when I play. It's been a struggle for a while. I mean, I'm glad I stopped drinking soda when I played when I was younger. I would always have like a 2-liter Dr. Pepper and just chug it rather than water. Not smart. Please don't do that. Full combo? Yeah, the last one was a full combo. So you noticed it said double S. There's different letter grades in the game, going from worst to best, F, D, C, B, A, and then S, double S, triple S. Double S, like I got earlier, is because I got a great. A double S means you got all perfects and greats. Greats is right under the perfect judgment, so second best. A gold S is if you get at least 1 bad or good, that's all it takes. You'll get an S, but you get no misses. So that is the next level up from an A. So if you get 1 miss, you'll go from an S to a blue A if you survive it. If the notes are, if the letters are gray with cracks on them, then it means you failed the song, which means your life bar reached 0. So if you pass the song, it's going to be colored, and that's what we call a stage pass or break on. And if you fail it, then we say you failed it or break off. Okay, let me see here. What's the next one? Oh, okay, so I'm gonna have to reset here. Give me a second, guys. So the reason I'm resetting is because this game has like hearts up top on your profile. Kind of hard to see it on stream, but if you look on the top right corner, you might be able to see some hearts. You need a certain amount to play certain songs in the game. Okay, so this is the last single chart that I'm going to be playing. Are there a few old ITG crossovers? Yeah, there are some songs in the game that are from In the Groove.
Remix.
Okay, let me see here. This is a remix of 2 songs by Memme. Same person who made Hellfire. Someone was asking about that. This is the same musician. It is 185, yeah, 185 BPM. And remixes are usually like 2.5 minutes. I don't know if any reach 3 minutes, maybe, or just right under that. So they're a little bit longer than the average Pump It Up song. Typically, a pump song's like anywhere from 1.5 minutes to like just under 2 minutes. This is a really tame chart all the way until the ending. It gets really, really intense with lots of movement, constant running. Before that, though, it's just very technical. I'm gonna be a little bit more quiet on this one just so I can try to focus. right, this is where it starts to get really hard. I'm sad because I hit the ending like really well. I think I got all perfects, but right before that, completely butchered it. Still all right though, really good run. So yeah, you probably noticed on that one too that I was just moving my upper half quite a bit, turning left and right very aggressively, mainly at the very end. That's typically how, honestly, like most rhythm game charts are, with some exceptions. The majority of the time, the hard part is like at the end. Some though have stuff like right at the beginning, in the middle. Sometimes it mixes it all in. It just depends on the rhythm game or the difficulty.
Remix.
I think it was 2 miss. I think so. Is there a name or even a category for not holding on to the bar? Yeah, it's called no bar. There's many people around the world that play no bar. I've touched this topic many times because a lot of people always ask. Or, I mean, you know, they'll give a lot of players a hard time because they'll just say, you know, oh, he's playing with the bar, he's cheating. You know, stuff like that. And I mean, it's just not true. Holding on the bar is not cheating at all. For Pump It Up specifically, it was illegal in tournament play up until the World Championship for 2011, where they actually changed the rule and said you're able to hold on to the bar. So majority of the player base for Pump has moved over to bar usage because of how difficult all the songs were becoming all throughout the years. I don't know the backstory for Dance Dance Revolution, but I think it was way sooner than 2011 where it became accepted. But there are some old school players that really enjoy not holding onto the bar, or there's people with you know, injuries on their arms or wrists or wherever where they can't hold onto the bar. So it just depends. I mean, there's even a while ago. I mean, obviously before COVID, there were tournaments where it was strictly no bar. I mean, and once COVID's done and over with, it's gonna come back. There's gonna be people that have no bar events or just play no bar still regardless, you know? All right, so we're gonna play Vanish. This is a level 22 double. Pretty cool chart. Actually has a section where the arrows actually start to vanish. Gotta appreciate Andamero having step artists that do little cool effects that go along with the song title. As far as the style goes for this type of chart, it's actually kind of weird. It just has a lot of bursts, meaning that there's not like a solid long like run of like constant flow of arrows. Very short, but tricky. Here's one right here. And then it's done. So it's only like, you know, 3 seconds long, but it can be a little tricky. Here comes another burst right here. Lots of movement. And then the ending of this is very tricky. right up right here. Very awkward. Big. It has like a very fast burst of 24th notes, which I think is around like 255 BPM if you were to convert it.
I knew you could do it.
It's a really cool song too. Yeah, I love that song.
Next stage.
Oh, geez. Okay. A lot of the players in the community are gonna feel my pain on this next one. While it's still a level 22, it's not easy. This is arguably a level 23 with the movement on this one. It just has you. It doesn't have a ton of like twisting per se. Like there's twists in it, but it's not really that makes it so difficult. It's just the ending makes you literally like have to jump from one side over to the other multiple times. It is incredibly awkward and extremely tiring. Oh, let's see how we do. Banger alert. All right, here we go. Mental Rider, level 22, double. Nice little cat jam before the pain. So if you got big feet, you don't have to turn left or right for this pattern right here. You just face forward. Use your toes to hit the top and your heels on the back. The hard part's not here yet, chat. Wait for it. Now. And we did it. We got a triple S. All perfects. Oh, that hurt. I had some spicy food last night, and I'm telling you, I'm dying.
Absolutely perfect.
Biggest mistake.
Wow. New record.
Are the charts subjective, voted on by the community? No. It's whatever the company says. I mean, for this game in particular. In the Groove is one of the games I mentioned. That game is no longer operated by a company. They actually got sued back in like 2005, 6. So that game is operated by the community now. People make custom step charts to like songs they want.
Original.
I'm gonna take a short little breather here, chat. Just bear with me. I got a short period of a break here with the clock, but if there's any questions that any of you have, I'll try to catch it and answer it quickly. Yeah, feel free to ask. If I don't catch your question at all, feel free to check out the streams too. This is what I primarily stream, and our community is really helpful with like answering questions. If you're trying to get a home set up, whatever it is, if you have any questions, please feel free. You can even DM me on Discord. I'm more than happy to answer anything. Makes me really happy to see you all here too. So thank you for being here. Like, it means a lot. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my community. It makes us really happy. Was it Roxor? Yeah, Roxor was a company that owned In the Groove, and then Konami filed a lawsuit on them because, I mean, it looks just the same. It's complicated though, but like I said, nowadays people the community is what keeps the game running and being alive, constantly making custom step charts to different songs and creating packs of multiple songs in it, hosting events, etc., online tournaments, you name it. What is the average length of a song in Pump compared to DDR? They're actually about the same. They're about the same, like around 2 minutes. How long have I been playing? I started Dance Dance Revolution, the home version, in 1998. 2009 or so, I moved over to In the Groove, and then 2015, I started playing Pump, and then I took it seriously in summer of 2017. Muscle memory is huge. Yes, this game is all about muscle memory. Do I enjoy other rhythm games, or is it dancing that I'm only into? I'm more than happy to try other games. I just don't really take the time to do it, you know, because I'm trying to play this game competitively by pushing against other top-ranked players for world records or getting personal bests on certain songs. It just depends. So, I mean, it eats up a lot of my time. Someone asked a question about like the notes being invisible. I don't know if you're asking if I've ever done that. I did it when I was really, really young, but I don't do that anymore. It just takes up a lot of time to like memorize it. That is actually a good point though. It's very commonly asked if I memorize the notes. No, I cannot wear a blindfold on me and pass something. But there are other players that can do that. Now, at the end of this song, it's visually like really crazy looking. They're brackets, but they're delayed brackets, so they're just gonna look really weird. They're coming up. That right there at the very end. Making me looking like a spider. So that's one reason why I really love Pump It Up. The timing window, like I said, is very forgiving and very lenient to you getting perfects and greats. So the cool thing about Pump is the people that create these step charts will take advantage of that, and they'll make stuff like that, where it's a bracket where you hit 2 notes with 1 foot, but visually it doesn't look like it. It's 2 notes that are slightly, one's like slightly higher than the other, or vice versa, one slightly below it. And it just really screws up people that are trying to play and keep a combo. So it's really, really cool. But even though they're not aligned with each other, the window's so wide that if you are timing it correctly, you can still get perfects. So I really love that about Pump It Up. It makes it really, really cool, and you can be really creative when the people that are working for the company and making these step charts, I mean, they've done a great job, especially on this version of the game. Okay, moving over to another. That was level 23, by the way. We're gonna play another one. This is a really, really cool one. I really enjoyed this one. Lots of movement, crazy patterns, pretty fast, 170 BPM. He is human. I assure you, yes, I am a human. The timing is asymmetric too. Yes. So normal like rhythm games are usually, I don't know if there's any other ones that do this. I would imagine there are, but most rhythm games have a symmetric timing window where it's basically the window is like, you have like a scale and then the line is right down the middle. Pump It Up is more, it pushes players to hit later versus early. So if you hit early, you're more than likely to get a great or good or whatever. If you hit later, then you're more likely to get a perfect. And again, with those brackets that you just saw where they're delayed notes, they do that intentionally because it's not just for the wide timing window, it's also because you can hit later. So it's more beneficial to hit slightly later to try to get perfects. And again, another way that the creators of these step charts take advantage of the system that's in place here. It's pretty cool. Does DDR actually make you fit, or is it a myth? No, 100% fact. I know people personally that, I mean, their lives were literally saved because they were playing dance games. They lost, I can't give you the exact number. I think up to like 80 pounds, 100 pounds even. It's a great way to stay active and fit, and it's very fun. All right, so this is takeout level 23. So yeah, like I said, lots of movement. And now here's what we call a slowdown, where it forces the notes to be very compressed. So you can see it's a lot more pushed in together. So a lot of Pump It Up players have a hard time with this, like reading these notes. And we're going back to regular speed, but now the next section is going to have a lot of movement right after this. Right here. Nice little outro, just so you can recover from what you just did before this final burst. I saw someone mention a valid thing in the chat just now. Another thing that makes Pump really unique is the note skins, which basically mean like the graphics on the arrows. So you can actually customize them. If you go here, you can pick different ones to make them look different. But no matter what you pick on the official builds of Pump It Up, the official arcade releases from Animero, it doesn't tell you what type of note it's gonna be. So other rhythm games or dance games like any of the other ones, In the Groove, etc., they're color coded to tell you this is a quarter note, this is an eighth note, a 16th note, a 32nd note, etc. Pump It Up doesn't do that. It's what we call flat, where it's just color coded towards the actual buttons on the pad. So you can see red is up, blue is down, yellow center. So kind of makes it a little bit challenging, but it kind of balances out at the same time because of how loose the window is. But at times it can definitely throw you off. How do you get a Pump It Up setup at home? There are different ways to do it. There is a free build known as Step F2 or Step P1. That is a free to play, free version. But getting access to a pad can be very difficult and a little pricey. Again, our community is more than happy to help if you're interested in getting a home setup, and especially in these times with COVID. I mean, most people aren't able to go out and play at the arcade, and many players in the scene have gotten home setups because of that. So, I mean, if you're interested in picking it up yourself and trying to get involved, definitely check it out. Also, Step Maniacs pads. They're very popular, so they're kind of hard to get access to. But check it out, Step Maniacs. I believe the website is steprevolution.com. yeah, take a look at it. Those are home, professionally made arcade pads. The person that created In the Groove, he owned Roxor. It was Kyle Ward. He is the one behind that. He's the one that made these pads, so they're very good quality. I've played on them myself. Strongly recommend them. Okay, I gotta reset the cabinet here. Give me a second. If you're on, the only thing that's like a con for Step Maniacs pads is that they are expensive. They're about $1,400. So it's pretty much like a PC. So if that's too expensive, there are other options, but I myself, to be honest with you, I myself don't even know like the best recommendation for something that's a lot cheaper than that. But people in my community definitely know. They can help you. Where am I going here? Full song. So this is a Pump It Up classic. This is actually like probably my favorite song, and all of Pump altogether. This is probably one of my favorite songs. This is Canon D by Banya. Even if you don't play this game, many of you probably are familiar with this song. I don't know the name of the original, but I know it's a remix of a classical piece that's usually played at weddings. I love the song though, it's very, very good. This is a full song, so this is, I can't tell you how long it is. I think it's about 4 minutes, somewhere around there. So it's very, very long compared to normal arcade length songs, which are, like I said, 2 minutes. And this is a level 24, so I believe this is the first 24 for tonight. It's 160 BPM, I wanna say, yep, 160. And it just keeps going. Like, you get like one break in the middle. Other than that, it just does not stop. This is a very, very hard chart. When should a beginner worry about moving from stepping to that heel-toe motion you do? That's a very good question. The earlier the better, but I would say like mid-range is where you want to do it. For Pump It Up, probably like level 15, 16 maybe. I mean, the higher level you go, you got to play more minimal because of, you know, obvious reasons. You're moving so much. You got to find areas where you can conserve energy, because if you don't, you're just going to get gassed out. And a lot of players always comment saying like, wow, you have so much stamina, you're a god, etc., like that, stuff like that. I mean, the truth is like, no, honestly, I always say this and people get mad at me in my chat when I say this, but I pretty much have the same stamina that other players have. The key difference is how I'm minimizing my form. You know, I'm not moving that much. Sometimes I move a lot. It's where I need to move. So I take, you know, it's situational. It really comes down to how your form is. That is a huge element in building up stamina. Because if I was to move around a lot more and like hit the top of the buttons, I would be drained out. I'd be exhausted very fast. There's a time and place to move, and it's not constant. So yeah, like I said, this is a level 24. The main reason is it's very long, and it's about medium speed, but there's just so much running going on. A constant flow of arrows, basically. On top of that, you have a lot of parts where there's a lot of twisting going on. Like right there, you can see that I was moving my hips left to right over and over. see someone saying not moving much, like you quoted me. Yeah, I know, like this makes you move a lot. There's really no chance to save energy. Which is, again, why this is a 24. We're not done. It's only gonna get harder. Very stamina heavy, as you can see. It just does not let up.
Yeah, I knew you could do it. Next stage.
I'm a little rusty right now because I just came back from, I think it was almost 2 months. Took a 2-month break because I was very, very burnt out. Burnout is a very real thing, and it is very frustrating when you have it happen to you. I'm sure, I would imagine like many speedrunners know that feeling of burnout. It hit me earlier in the year, but I just kept pushing through it. And I strongly advise anyone out there, if you're feeling burnt out, you know, don't be afraid of losing some of the skill in whatever it is you're doing. Take the break. You probably deserve it because you're working really hard at whatever it is you're doing. I wish I listened to my body and, you know, listened to myself when I experienced the burnout, but I didn't, and it only got worse. But I'm glad that I took the break. I think it was around like 50 days, and it was like 2 weeks ago I just came back, and I'm trying to basically de-rust and get back where I was at in the game. So, yeah, I lost a little bit of consistency. And that'll happen to you if you take the break, but don't be worried about it. Don't feel discouraged. Because as long as you put in the work, you're gonna get back to wherever it was you were, and you're probably gonna end up doing better than wherever you peaked at, because you're gonna be back mentally recovered, you know, whatever it is you're doing. For me, it's both mentally and physically. This game is extremely draining and hard on your body, both mentally and physically, especially when you're playing at like the highest level possible, trying to compete with other people that are around the same rank that you are, globally top ranked players, you know? And even below that, I mean, you don't even have to be at a top rank to be burnt out, you know? So take care of yourself, whatever it is you're doing. Don't be afraid to take those breaks. All right, I'm gonna get a sip of some water here first. I think this is my first 25 for tonight. This is another remix by Max and Mem. It is Avalanche, which is another classical piece, and Requiem, which I think that's another classical. So 2 classical remixes into a remix. So it's a remix of remixes. Are those shoes or socks? They are socks. No, seriously, self-care. Self-care is very important. I mean, just to give you a backstory about like what happened for me, I was at one point, not even that long ago, I was playing this game for 5 to 8 hours a day, usually 5 to 6 days a week. Really trying to push my body. And it gave me 2 injuries, minor injuries, but injuries nonetheless. And yeah, big mistake. So nowadays I take it a lot easier. I'm still pushing myself, but I play usually 2 to 3 hours for like 3 times a week. Sometimes 4, just depends. But I also take those long breaks. Misread that pattern right there. That ending is really, really brutal. So fun fact, this was my first S grade on a level 25. I think it was over a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. And like I said, when I was grinding like really hard back then, I think that stream was like 7 hours. And I was playing that song just over and over and over, trying to get the S. And again, an S is when you get no misses. All right, gonna reset really quick. Okay, next one, another level 24. 200 BPM with a long run at the end of it. Have I ever slipped and fall? I haven't fallen, but I've slipped before, but I catch myself. I'm gonna take another breather really quick. If I see any questions, I'll try to answer them. Why do I reset? Because you need a certain amount of hearts, which are, it's hard to see, but it's on the top right. Where that like RGB title is, it's flashing. Right side of the counter. Right below that, you'll see the hearts. You need a certain amount to play certain songs based off the length that they are. So I need to reset to get my hearts back. Am I sweaty? Yes, I'm very sweaty. You're sitting there trying to figure out how I got that machine through the door. This is in a garage. The other thing too is the top half, where the 2 arrows are on each side in the middle with the banner, that all folds back. So it was just short enough to fit through the garage door. How did I get into this game? Well, this game, one of my buddies, at the time I met him at a Round 1 arcade, or I saw him there, we ran into each other. I mean, we were buddies before that, but I just bumped into him and he tried really hard to convince me to start playing this game because he really wanted to see where I can get at it, because he knew that I was really, really good at another dance game that I played prior to this. So I was pretty resistant because I used to hate this game, actually. I really didn't like it. Thought it was just a Dance Dance Revolution knockoff and always gave it a hard time, but you know, I tried being open-minded about it and gave it a chance, and here I am, streaming on Twitch, playing it all the time, pushing the limits as much as I can, competing against other really talented players all around the world for world records, and just trying to see what we can do with the game, how far we can reach, you know? Do I have air conditioning in the garage? No, we are currently renting this house, so we cannot put AC in here, unfortunately. So summer is brutal, to say the least. Very brutal. Sometimes I just have to like not play the game at all and just do something else on stream during that time. So this is another level 24. It's 200 BPM, so it's a lot faster. The first like 70% of it is very friendly compared to other 24s. But once it gets going, like it just doesn't stop. So something that you'll notice if you look carefully on like the overhead camera, most of the time I try to use my heels only on the yellow notes. The reason for that is to try to conserve energy. Sometimes I have to use my whole foot. It just depends. But pay attention to this next section on the right side. Right here. Notice how I'm only using my heels on the center. That's just to conserve energy. All right, we got a full combo. There was one good and a couple of greats. That one good is gonna bump us down from a double S to an S. Not bad. He's floating. Pog champ.
Next stage.
It's just vibrating on a pad, chat. It's not real dancing. It's not tap dancing. A lot of people compare it to that.
Level 24.
It is not. It's just vibrating. Oh, jeez. All right, well, next up is a level 26. This is where things get really difficult. One of the hardest songs in the game. What's the tagging for Jacob? Did I miss like a question? The chat's moving really fast. I'm not used to it. I apologize. Can I actually dance? No. You should have seen me at my wedding, chat. It was embarrassing. Kept stepping on my wife's feet and everyone else that I dance with. Bring it to the club. Dude, can you imagine? I'd probably just get roasted because let's be honest, this is really dorky looking, you know? I mean, I may have met my wife through these games, but we're just both dorks, you know? It's just meant to be. You're just stomping on buttons. It's spider stompers. It's just advanced spider stompers. If any of you remember that from Chuck E. Cheese, it's spider stompers. Can you imagine if this game would give you tickets? Oh man, I'd buy any of those consoles they had. Like, I wish. That'd be dope. Where did I buy my socks? They're just normal socks. They're just no-show socks. Low cut. I just got them off Amazon. There's no like special socks that I use. I get that question a lot though. It's a fair question. Full combo, here's 3 tickets. Yeah, they would be brutal like that. So, like I said, this is a level 26. At this point, like, you can just expect everything and anything to get thrown your way. right. Nice little breather. After this, it just does not stop. It keeps going. All right, let's go. Barely, almost got the pass. Not quite enough there. Stomach's a little upset. The hot food's killing me, chat. What's crazy is, it was only 13 miss, but it was the bads is what brought my life bar down. So you saw that the A there was gray and had the cracks on it. That means I did not pass it with the life bar. The life bar reached 0. Okay, we got 2 more songs here. I'm gonna take another break because I mean one after the other with these, it's really hard. So I'm gonna take a short breather. You think Fems is close to S-ing this insane? Yeah, Fems is a very talented player. We're both like, me and I think there's another player that's really close to that too. There's like 2 or 3 of us that have 2 to 3 misses on it. We're all trying to get it. I think right now Fems has, wait a second, hold on. Prime time. Fems has, I can't give the exact number, but he has a couple of 26s that are S, which is very, very incredible. I love having, I never thought I'd be able to reach like top level competition in this game. And it's a lot of fun. I love competitions. I love having a rival or multiple people that are just right there or even above me and trying to like reach even higher than that and just going back and forth on records. Like it's a rush, honestly. Like, I love it. We're gonna be doing another 26 here. This is a remix of I think like 10 or 12 songs actually. Really, really good song. Okay, I'm just gonna take a short breather here before I start playing. Prime time is amazing. Yeah, this is a great song. 26 the highest difficulty? No, the highest is 28. There's 2 level 28s. I've passed 1 of them so far. I think I was I don't remember, 4th or 5th person to get it. I think I was the first non-Korean player to get it. This game was made out in South Korea. The Korean community is incredibly talented and also very humble. Like that's what I really admire about their community. They're very humble, they're very supportive, and they are the core reason that I push myself as hard as I can in this game. So a big shout out to the South Korean players. Very awesome group of people. actually hit the combo on that M run. So an M run is when you see the pattern go from one side all the way to the other, in order of the notes up top. We got the pass. Whew. Definitely gonna take some water. All right, so we got the blue A, means we passed the song.
Next stage.
The flickering holds are intentional. Yeah, they are. When the notes are flashing, that's another gimmick. All right, we're gonna reset the cabinet. Again, this is a good opportunity. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Do I ever grind one song? Oh yeah, oh yeah. The point where I'm at in the game nowadays, I mean, it used to be where I had a really wide variety of like different songs to go for. But after all the years of like really like a lot of hard work and playing, I've gotten to a point where I think there's like around 50 or so songs left. It's a very small pool of songs that I have left to work on, to try to like break records on or try to like get personal bests. But it's incredibly hard because everything left is extremely, extremely hard. It's at a point where either no one's ever like perfected it, or no one's ever gotten a certain grade on it, or one or two people have done it, if that. Hey, why don't you just get up and dance, man? We're trying. It should really change that to just vibrate. Seriously. How long would it take you to beat a brand new 24 or up difficulty song? It really depends. Like if it's like a level 24, I usually first try. When you say beat, I don't know if you mean like perfect it or pass it. They're very different. But if you mean just pass the song, like get it clear, yeah, usually first try. If it's like a 27 then, or higher, like 27, 28, then it will take a little bit more. It really depends though. The last 20, they just recently came out with the 27. I think it took me 3 or 4 attempts to get the pass on it. Okay. Are there songs that I do with no bar? Truth be told, while people view me as like a top-ranked player globally, I am not good at no bar. I'm very, very bad at it. There are many other players, dozens of other players out there that are much better and much more talented at no bar than I am. I grew up not really doing it, and there are players that are dedicated to that type of play style, and they're crazy. They are crazy. If you look up, pump it up, no bar, you're gonna see people that are just gonna blow me out of the water easily. How has the game affected your body? Like, are certain parts of your legs and back shredded? Back's in pretty decent shape. Gut has zero work at all. This game does not work your core. Legs and arms, yeah. Honestly, believe it or not, most of the soreness after a session comes in my arms because of holding onto the bar. you're putting all your body weight essentially like back on your arms to try to make it so that your legs can move a lot more easily at higher speeds. So this is level 27 that we're gonna play. And this is the last song that I will be playing. So wish me luck, I'll do my best. Let's see what happens. This, again, at this level, it just, you can expect everything to be thrown at you. Very, very hard.
Star.
Ooh, we got it. Awesome, we got the stage pass. A lot more misses than I'd like, but hey, it's not bad. My stomach is upset right now. Not bad at all. Whew. All right, just give me a moment. I'm just gonna reset the cabinet. And this is how, watch how fast you fail. Dead. So if you fail out of the game completely, like if you go to the arcade and swipe your card to play, it will fail you out of your entire set if you get 50 misses straight. Okay. So that concludes the showcase for Pump It Up, everybody. Again, I want to give a huge thank you to Games Done Quick for having me back on yet again. This is my third time on. I was here for Corona Relief Done Quick, Awesome Games Done Quick 2020, and now this event. So thank you so much, Games Done Quick, for having me back. It's a huge privilege, and I am honored to be able to showcase a game that I love to so many people. And it makes me really happy, along with my community and everyone involved with dance games, to be able to see you all here supporting a genre like this. So thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And like I said, if you want to see more of this, you possibly want to get your own home setup, or you have any more questions for me, please feel free to check out the streams or join our Discord, DM me, ask questions in the channel, anything. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much, happyf33tz. That was amazing. I was sitting here behind the scenes in awe the entire time. Oh, I love Pump It Up showcases. They are fantastic. But that's the end of West Coast Weekend. Thank you to all the runners and commentators who made this amazing event happen, all the volunteers and staff that worked behind the scenes all weekend to make sure, and to each one of the viewers out there that came out and joined us on this trip to the West Coast. I've been ZoeVermilion, and also a huge shout out to Smooth Operative, who took the early shifts for this marathon. I obviously couldn't have done this without her, so I appreciate everyone, and I was just happy to be here. I hope you all have a wonderful night. We are going to go say hi to someone. That's it for me. Take it easy.